All right, welcome to Tuesday night edition of Dirty Girls. Tonight, Melinda Russell joins us again from Michigan, and I guess next week from Arizona. It's going to be nice to be down there in the warmer weather, I suppose.
Yes.
I'm up here in the cold snow. I'm not liking it at all.
You guys are having another nor'easter up there.
Yes, I got to go to work first thing in the morning. Go get some of this snow out of the way.
Right.
So, well, welcome to the show, everybody, and I'm going to let Melinda take it from here. I'm going to sit back and engineer in the studio here and make things happen.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate your help.
Absolutely.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Dirty Girls. We are a radio show about women who are passionate about dirt track racing. I'm your host, Melinda Russell. As he mentioned, I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And next week, our show will actually be brought to you from Phoenix, Arizona, where my daughters live. I'm going for a visit, but we will have a show next week, so be sure you tune into that. We are sponsored tonight by the International Women's Motorsports Association, by Send Out Cards, and the World Motorsports Breast Cancer Foundation. I'd like to invite you to go to the International Women's Motorsports Association page on Facebook. Please like and share our page to help us get the word out about what we're doing. We just put out the March issue of our online magazine. If you are a member of our association, you will have gotten an email that gives you the link so you can go and open that up. You can read it. You can print it. If you're not a member and you'd like to have a sample copy, if you go to iwmanation.com, you can put your email address in, and we will send you a one-time free issue that you can check out. If you want to receive the issues every month, just join us in our cause and become a Founders Club member for $59 a year, and you will get the magazine and also lots of other discounts that are coming more and more as we get things ramped up and going. So tonight, our guest is Anna Parkhurst. I'm going to ask her if it's Anna or Anna, but I met her on Facebook, as I've met most of my people that I've been interviewing. Facebook can be wonderful. It can be horrible, but I try to make it wonderful where I meet lots of interesting and fun people. I saw a post about her on Facebook, and I reached out to see if she would like to join us tonight and be our guest, and we were very pleased that she said yes, she would. So, Anna, are you on the phone with us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, so tell me, is it Anna or Anna?
It's Anna.
Okay, I had it right. I thought with the H,
yes, ma'am,
perhaps that was right. So that's great. So welcome to the show. We're excited that you are with us tonight. So I'm going to just ask you some questions, and I want you to just answer and share. We've got just a little less than an hour that we can talk back and forth about racing and anything else you'd like to share with us about yourself. So first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live and what you do besides race?
Well, I'm from Augusta, Georgia, and I'm 17. And I'm homeschooled now. I went to high school for a little while, and then just with racing, I was so busy and everything. So I do homeschool. So during the day, I just kind of hang out and take my little sister to and from school and do stuff around the house. And then we're gone every weekend racing. So that's pretty much it. I don't do that much. I'm not as exciting as people think.
Well, people think that when you're gone every weekend racing, that's pretty exciting. So I
yes,
would say
ma'am.
that is as well. So tell us a little bit about how old were you when you started racing, and what kind of, where did you start? Did you drive quarter midgets? How did you get started in racing?
I was 13 years old when I started, and I used to race outlaw carts at Millbridge, so the winged little sprint car looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Salisbury, North Carolina. So I did that every other Wednesday night. So my dad and I would get in the car on Wednesdays and drive up and then drive back home that night. So That was part
And
of the reason I had to quit going to school. It took a lot for me to get up Thursday morning.
And how far of a drive was that?
That was 3.5 hours.
Oh my gosh! So every other Wednesday
Yes,
you
ma'am.
drove 3.5 hours to race.
Yes, ma'am. I did that for about 1.5 years, and then I got started running late models.
Wow, we've got to give kudos to your dad for being dedicated too, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Dad was awesome. And then the nights
Yeah,
that
that's
he couldn't
amazing.
drive me
So-
up there,
Go ahead.
if he couldn't drive me up there because of work or something like that, he would fly me up there, and then he would fly and meet me there. So
Wow.
he didn't miss any, even if he was busy. We would fly and meet each other at the airport, and then get a rental car, and we'd be at the races Wednesday night. So yeah,
That's
he's been
amazing.
awesome with it. It's been great.
Yeah, I guess so. You're very lucky that you've been able to do that. So I thought I heard you say that then you moved to late model. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your racing story? You've told us how you started. Why don't you tell us what you've been doing in the last few years?
Yes, ma'am. So I started doing outlaw carts for, like I said, 1.5 years, and we won the East Coast Nationals deal that they run in that at, over here on the East Coast, obviously, every year. So I won that twice and had a couple runner-ups in our championships in that. And then we started racing late models, and it was a big learning curve at first and pretty expensive, too, because that was awful. It was embarrassing. And then so I did that, and we finally started getting the hang of it and started traveling a lot more and doing a lot more things and jumping into some different motor stuff. So I started off in the crate motors, and then I ran 525s for a little bit, and then Creighton 602, and now I run Creighton open motors in the late models. So we've been busy
Okay.
for sure, and that keeps us all over the place.
So tell me then, do you have a hometown track or do you travel all the time?
We travel all the time. They're Modoc Raceway in Modoc, South Carolina, is the closest to my house, but they only run special events 5 or 6 times a year, so I run all of those. But other than that, we typically don't run the same place 2 weeks in a row, so we're all over. I think this weekend we're in Genoa, Georgia, and then next week we race in Chattanooga, and then Phoenix City, Alabama the day after that. So.
Wow. So do you ever come to the Midwest, like Michigan?
Not yet, no, but this year I'm going to run 8 midget races with Dueling Haywood Motorsports, so I run all of those in Illinois. So
Okay.
that'll be the furthest out I've been. And then the furthest north we've been, I've raced in New York one time last year because that's where I'm originally
Okay.
from. So we went back
Wow.
up there and raced, but other than that, it's southeast stuff.
Okay. All right. So so you're still homeschooled. You'll be probably done. Will you be done then this year? You'll have graduated?
No, ma'am, I'm a junior, so
Oh, you're a
one more
junior.
semester and then I'll start my senior year. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I assume your mom homeschools you.
My mom actually passed away in June, so
Oh, I'm so
up
sorry.
until then. Oh no, you're
Okay.
good. So I do online, so I'm pretty much by myself doing that, but I have a teacher for every class, so it's like normal school. I have 6 different teachers and counselor and all that good stuff. So I just do online every day, and that's about it.
Well, I would say you must be a very disciplined young woman if you're able to homeschool really yourself in a lot of ways. Even though you have those teachers, you have to be the one that sits down and puts that into practice. So
Yes, ma'am.
you spend that a few hours a day doing that. I heard you say you had a little sister that you take to school. So
Yep.
and then do things around the house like all the rest of us do. So that's kind of a normal part of your life. So tell me then about the racing and the traveling. Is it your dad and you and your sister? Do you have a group of people that go along to help you, or how does that work?
Yeah, my sister doesn't like to miss a race. If she can get out of school, like if we go on a long weekend, she'll have to miss some school, but she doesn't like to miss it, and she's the nervous one. My dad doesn't get nervous at all, but my sister's about to have a panic attack every time I race. But her and
how
my
old
daddy
is
and I
she?
go. She's 15.
Okay.
Yep, so her, my dad, and I go, and then I have 2 other crew guys. Another one, he's a 16-year-old boy, so he's a year younger than me, and then an older guy that goes with us and drives the rig and helps us work. So they go with me every weekend. They don't miss a race. And then I have a few more people that Shane McDowell and Sarah McDowell, his wife, they go with us a good bit, and he works on my car a good bit. And he's the one that kind of helps us out. Like my dad, I'm the first one in my family to race, so he doesn't really have a mindset for racing, I guess. He's starting to develop it over the years, but Shane McDowell is the one that really helped us understand setup things, and he's helped me get to where I can drive finally. So he was helping with that learning curve.
Yeah, there's a huge learning curve. So you said when you started you were terrible. So
yeah, it was awful.
So what was awful about it? Why do you think you were terrible?
Well, I just like I said, nobody in my family had raced, and we hadn't really been around it until a couple of years prior to when I started racing myself. So I just didn't have like the best mindset, and the hardest thing for me was like turning right to go left, like you have to do in dirt racing. I just couldn't wrap my head around that for the longest time. So once I finally got my head around that, it was a lot easier. But the first time I ever got in a late model, I looked like a pinball machine. I like bounced off every wall in the place, and I couldn't even make it a full lap before I caused too much damage. So how did the guys on the track, or the women, how did they treat you when you were the rookie driver just learning? They were a lot more helpful when I was just learning than I am now. But that's the good thing about dirt is most everybody's willing to help each other out and give each other what they need. So they helped me a good bit. There was a ton of guys every weekend that would come up to me and offer advice and tell me what I needed to do at different parts of the racetrack. And then, like I said, Dad didn't have the best idea what was going on either. So they were helping Dad with the setup and everything. So it's been great as far as that goes.
Okay, that's good. So are there other women that race the same like series or a lot of the tracks where you go, or is it mostly just you?
There's a couple girls, but I only race with them a few times a year. There's a girl down in South Georgia named Jordan Fighter. I race with her some, and then there's another lady up at Sonoa that I'll like race against this weekend, but it's usually just a couple times a year.
Okay, so most of the time it's you against the guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because there's not. I watch a lot of racing on TV too, and I don't see too many girls racing dirt track, at least not on television.
Yeah, not too many. And then it's weird because most of them are Dad's age too. And then, like I said, I'm 17, so.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of years in front of you to do this. It sounds like you're having a good time. What is
Yes, ma'am, I love it.
I can hear that in your voice. So what is your proudest moment from your racing career so far?
It would probably be I won a race 2 weeks after my mom passed away. So that was awesome because I'd won 4 times last year, and we hadn't really won much, and then I won my first race right before she started getting really sick, and then while she was really sick, I won a couple weeks after, and then I won again about a month after that. So it was like we went through 2 years where we were having little hard times, and I was still learning, and we weren't quite up there, and then like right when things started getting tough, we started getting good, and so it was like an uplifting thing, kind of a bad time, but it was special to win right after she passed away. It was kind of like in honor of her thing, so that was probably my biggest. It was a 2000 to win crate race down here at that track near my house, so it was special. We had all the friends and family there.
Yeah, that's great, and you know, isn't it interesting how we can go through tough times and then. And, you know, a lot of people maybe don't believe this, but I do. And then God shows us that your mom's always going to be with you, and she's watching you race, and she's the angel in your car. And then you started doing well. And I think that's a very, very inspiring story because it could have been a tough time. I mean, I know it was tough, but it could have been you said, I can't race, I can't do it. But I'm guessing you know that your mother knew it was important to you and she would want you out there.
Yes, ma'am, for sure. It all came at the right time. So even though she got sick and that started getting hard, but then, like I said, racing picked up for us then too. So it worked out good, the best way it could, I guess. You're
right. That's right. So do you have any marketing partners that you would like to mention or talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Our biggest one that helps us out is TGen, which is a cancer research firm out of Arizona, and they start like pages in honor of people, and that's how they get their funding for their research. And that's what my mom passed away from. Was she got breast cancer when I was 4 years old, and over the years it moved to her lungs and her bones and to her brain. So they started a page in her honor, which is loriesfund.org, and that's where people can go make donations in her honor. So I run that on the side of my car.
Go back and say that again with the name of the page, and say it slow so people can hear, in case they want to go and and check that out. So tell us that again.
Yes, ma'am, for sure. It's loriesfund.org, and her name's Laurie. And so they just go and make donations, and it'll all be in honor of her, and my race car's on the page and everything like that. And then it goes to TGen's research. So that's a special thing that I like to carry with us all the time. And it's cool to raise awareness for that kind of stuff, still doing what I love.
That's very good. Did you hear at the beginning of the show that one of our sponsors is the World Motorsports Breast Cancer Foundation?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I thought that was cool.
Now, have you ever heard of that organization?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, when we're done with the radio interview, I'm going to connect you. I'm actually just was appointed to the board of directors there, and we have ambassadors, and I think you'd make a great ambassador. So we'll talk about that when the radio show's over.
Okay, I'd love to.
Yeah, that would be great. So you don't really have a hometown track. You go all over the place to race. Is there a track that you haven't been to that you would like to race at?
Yeah, I've been before to watch, but I'd love to race at Eldora sometime. So hopefully,
and I will come to watch you if you come to Eldora. That's a great track.
We'll be coming soon. My teammate races Super Late multiple time, and he runs the World and the Dream every year and won it a couple times. So I'm coming to watch him at the Dream this year and the World, and we'll probably be trying to be out there with him, I guess, next year. So.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you've got to stay in touch with me so that I can come and watch you race. So,
all right, yes, ma'am.
So you said your dad never raced. So I guess I missed the part then. How did you get interested in racing when you were little?
My dad is the vice president at Textron Off-Road, and it was Bad Boy and Easy Go and all that stuff. So we started doing a lot of sponsorship stuff with RCR, especially when Kevin Harvick was racing with them. So I started going to the NASCAR races a lot and just kind of fell in love with it. So then we started going to that dirt track up the road from the house, and I love that too. So. Okay.
So it was just you were a fan, and then you're like, I'm going to try this. Did anybody say to you, oh, well, you're a girl, you have no business racing?
No, I never ran into that. I know that's a thing that a lot of girls have told me about or kind of expressed, but that's never anything I had to deal with. So I guess I'm blessed in that way.
Yeah, that's good. And I hear it some, but I hear it less and less, I think, because so many women are getting involved in the sport, and not always as a driver. I've met women that own tracks. They own the car, they're on the crew. They could be doing a lot of different things. But I think men are getting more used to women being around, so maybe they're not giving them as much heartache about it as they used to. So,
yeah, for sure. I haven't been racing too long, obviously, like I said, so I haven't experienced it much, but I know, especially back then, it was kind of a big thing, like you said, but now I believe it's getting more diverse. So
I agree. So your season has already started, or is this week the first week for it?
My season started earlier in the year, at the end of January, so I know it gets started early down here because we're basically good temperatures and no snow all year long. So it starts early and goes late. We could really go all year if we wanted to, but I usually end my season at Thanksgiving.
Okay. Yeah, we had snow here today in Michigan, so it's a little chilly yet for us to be racing. I think we've got about, I want to say 42 or 43 days before our season starts here. So you've been racing almost a couple months.
Yep, a couple months we've been racing, and then it just picked up more and more, and we'll start racing more days on the weekends and all that stuff. So. Yeah,
that's so fun. I hope I'm going to get to come and watch a race sometime. So what is it that you enjoy the most about racing?
I know it's not really technically about racing, but the traveling and meeting all kinds of different people is one of my favorite things for sure.
And what is
it
about
really
that you
social
like?
And I talk a lot, so.
Well, it sounds like you're a very outgoing, friendly girl, so that's a good thing to make friends everywhere and network. You just never know who you're going to meet.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is it about strapping into a race car? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you excited? How do you feel when you start that car and know you're going out on the track?
It's almost become just like a regular thing to me. Like I said, last year I raced 77 times, and we practice all the time, so it's become like a normal thing to me. But I get nervous before qualifying, just a lot of pressure. So I get nervous before then, but other than that, it's just like another thing I do to me. So. Okay.
Somebody told me or gave me a quote that said, if you do the same thing over and over, then the same thing becomes the main thing. And so it's just like you don't have to think about it anymore. It's just automatic. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your car number, and how did you choose your number?
My number is 23, and that came from a whole bunch of different things. That my dad's birthday, and he has 23 letters in his name, so it's been his favorite his whole life, and so it's kind of just mine growing up too. And then when I started racing for Team Dillon Racing, which is Austin and Ty Dillon, the dirt team that they have. And my crew chief over there at the time was Ryan Gifford, and he raced 2, and his number was 2, and he wanted me to be 2, and then Austin wanted me to be 3, so it all just kind of worked out. So
okay. That's a great way, or a great reason to choose that number. I like that.
Yeah, it all worked out good. So
yeah, it did. So now, do you race against a lot of the same people? Do a lot of the same people go to all the tracks you go to, or do you mix it up and not race against the same people at all?
I race against the same people a good bit, like not usually the same whole group of 24, but there'll be some mixed in, and I'll race with the other half of the group next week and things like that. But we run a good bit of series races. I don't run a series right now, but we run a good bit of just series races, hit and miss. So I run with a lot of those guys. Okay.
All right. So is there someone that you have not raced against that you would like to?
I've never really thought about that. I get like all the other questions. I've never really thought about that.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Not really. I'm sure there's a whole list long of people I'd love to race with, and hopefully I get the chance to soon, but not anybody off the top of my head. I've never been asked that before.
Okay. So what are your goals for your racing career?
I've always thought that, I wanted to do NASCAR and I wanted to race asphalt, but a couple of times I have been in asphalt cars and asphalt trucks. It just makes me love dirt even more. So I may want to do that forever. I'm not really sure, but I just want to be successful in each level I do. So when we run some asphalt stuff, I wasn't really good in that either to start off with. And we started getting better, so I felt like I kind of accomplished that. And then, like I said, in late models, I wasn't too good. And we've obviously gotten a little bit better from where we started off. So just being able to progress in each thing I do is a big goal for me.
That's good. That's a good answer. So is school, will you continue to go on to school? Do you have an occupation in mind to do, or is racing going to be the thing that you're going to focus on the most?
Racing will be my main focus for sure, and I signed a contract with RCR to be a developmental driver for them when I was 14, so that's going on for another year or two. So once I graduate, I'll keep racing. I want to do high school, just to always have something to college, just to always have something to fall back on. So I'll probably do college online or something like that, but right now racing's the main focus. I don't see a lot of time to go to college full time.
No, not full time if you're trying to do this. So
yes, ma'am.
If you had anything that you could say to a young girl that is interested in racing, why would you tell her that it's a good sport for her to get involved in?
Racing's great just because like I said, you get all the traveling, you get to meet all different kinds of people, but also, like we talked about, there's not a lot of girls doing it, so it's something that if she wanted a chance to prove herself, it's something you can prove yourself doing, and just gives you a lot of different opportunities that you normally wouldn't get.
Okay, great. So what do your friends think about you racing?
My friends love it. They think it's cool because nobody at our school really did it or anything like that. So we raced around home last weekend, and I had a bunch of my friends come out there and watch. So it's not anything really that they're sort of into. Like, they don't watch NASCAR on TV or anything like that. So it's a whole new world for them. So they love it, and especially my best friend. A couple of years ago, she's busy now dancing and with school and everything, but she used to come almost every race, and she loved it. So it's cool for them. It's something different.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of kids your age are doing a lot of different things. You're very focused, and it sounds like you have been, on racing for quite some time. I have to tell you that I admire that in a young woman your age, because a lot of kids, and you're still a kid, your dad would probably say, yeah, she's still a kid, don't really have that kind of focus. Where do you think that comes from?
My dad's always been really focused on what he's trying to do, and my mom as well. She kind of had one main focus, and that was to be a mom every day and do everything she does. And then Dad's run his business during the day and then go race at night and on the weekends. So they've just been really focused people. And like I said, I played sports before I started racing, and then once I decided I wanted to race, I just kind of realized I needed to focus. So I guess not having too many other things to do is probably helping too.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have a favorite race car driver, NASCAR driver?
Yeah, I like Austin Dillon, obviously, 'cause he's been helping me out since I started racing and racing underneath him and all that stuff. He's kind of become almost like a brother. And then Kevin Harvick, too, as well. When he raced with RCR, we got connected up with them, and now his management company sponsors my race car and everything like that. So the two of them have to be my favorite.
Yeah, that was probably a good answer there.
Yeah,
so
it's an easy one. I can get that one.
It's an easy one, yeah. That one you didn't have to think about the answer. So
nope, I don't really have an option. I got two favorites.
Yeah, exactly. So what else would you like to tell us about your race career, about yourself? We've got about 30 minutes left, and we don't have to use the whole time. But I would, it sounds like you've had a lot of connections. Maybe tell our audience, how you got connected to them. Was it through your dad's work? Just a little bit more about your life in racing, and just share whatever you'd like to share, and I'll be quiet and let you talk.
Yeah, we've been lucky over the years for sure, just getting the chance to meet everybody. Like I said, we've been able to meet those guys through my dad's sponsorship and everything like that. So that's been great, working out for me, not only racing-wise, but they've all become really good friends and mentors for me as well, like on and off the racetrack. So it's been great to get those opportunities throughout everything, and then just being able to go to all kinds of different races and meeting all kinds of different people. It's been great. And I've always loved traveling my whole life when we were little, and we would go on business trips with my dad and everything. I love that. So being able to do it every weekend now, I still like it, but I get a little tired of it every now and then.
Yeah, because do you fly where you go, or do you drive most of the places that you go?
We drive whenever we go. We did fly up to New York because we ended up staying a lot longer than my crew did, because that's where I was born. So all my family lives up there except my grandma. So we went up there and raced and then stayed a few more days. But other than that, we're driving everywhere every weekend. But we usually don't race any further than 6 hours. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you that, because by the time you leave on a Friday and get there, and I would say you probably most typically race on Saturday. And then,
most typically, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
In the summer, we hit a lot of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes around Memorial Day and 4th of July, they'll run on Mondays too. But
right. Yeah, there's not too many dirt tracks close to me. Most of the tracks that I go to right close to me are asphalt tracks, but definitely would love to come and watch you race and to meet you in person. I'm very impressed with your answers and how mature you are for 17. So I'm going to give you some kudos for that. What would you say, your dad let his what were you, 13-year-old daughter get into racing? He must be kind of in the racing field as well. But it's different when you put your own kid on the track. So how do you think he felt about that? Was he encouraging, or?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I was kind of all over the place. Like, I played basketball and golf and lacrosse and swam. I just kind of did whatever. So I guess when I told him I wanted to race, and it was kind of something I hadn't really done before and something that never crossed his mind or anything due to not being in the family, he just kind of thought that I must really want to do it if I said it. So he was excited, and he was supportive too, and it was a whole new thing for him. So it was cool for him to be able to travel with us every weekend, and he's always been really like dedicated and likes to learn and stuff. So jumping into something that he didn't know anything about was special for him too. But he's never really been nervous. And my mom, there's videos of her like recording my go-kart races and everything, and she's screaming in the background and going crazy and just nervous. And then my sister, she's super nervous. Like, I wrecked one time, and the guy was like, "You can't go on the racetrack," and she was like, "That's my sister," and took off running out onto the racetrack. So she's nervous, and my mom was nervous, but Dad's never really been that way. I've gotten hurt a couple times racing, and Dad just stands down there in the infield until they tell him he needs to come out on the racetrack. So he's been good. He really doesn't get too nervous. He never really has, no matter what we've done. He just lets us do our thing and then gets nervous when he needs to. But
yeah, it sounds like you have a really good support system around you.
Yes, ma'am.
Not just your dad and your sister, but I'm sure other friends and family as well. So that's an important piece to make you successful when you know you have all those people behind you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to share with us about your racing, or whatever you would like to talk about, or have we covered everything?
You've done a great job. I think you've covered just about everything. Like
Okay.
I said, I really don't have too much going on except racing and being with my family and everything. So
well, that's two very, very good things, near and dear to my heart. I can tell you that. I'm headed to Arizona tomorrow. My youngest two daughters and 4 of my grandchildren live there. And
oh wow!
my youngest,
well, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot warmer than it is in Kalamazoo. My youngest grandson is 5.5, and he's a huge NASCAR fan, and he knows every NASCAR driver, the number of their cars, everything. So I've been trying to educate him a little bit about the women I've met. So I'm going to have to, on Facebook, show him who you are and talk to him about you a little bit and introduce him to you. So he loves racing of any kind, and it's in our family, I guess, and in our blood as well. So yeah, I can't really think of anything else to ask you. You've been a great guest. You've shared about the good times and some tough times you've had. It sounds like you've got a great summer and fall ahead of you with your racing. Why don't you tell people where, if they want to follow you and they want to know where you're going to be racing, that kind of thing, what's the best way for them to do that?
My Twitter and Instagram and Facebook are all Anna Parkhurst, and then we also have a racing page on Facebook, which is just Anna Parkhurst Racing, and Dad keeps that one up for me, but he posts every weekend where we're going to be at and when we get new merchandise and all that good stuff. So you can check that out and keep up with everything.
All right. So you've probably got T-shirts and stuff if people are interested, or what's on your Facebook page?
We have T-shirts and hoodies and then some different kind of hats on there. So
okay.
They're on,
all right. Well, you got to get your plug in.
Which is just Anna Parkhurst Racing. So all the clothes on the website too, and where we're running at and how we do and everything. So
okay. All right. Well, that's great. Anna, I'm so glad that we connected. It was just, I think, kind of a fluke how I saw your name come across some post that somebody put, and I'm always looking for young women, or not just young women, all women, who are interested in racing and have a passion for it. And for us not to have ever spoken to each other, I can feel your passion and your love for racing just through your voice on the interview. So I'm so glad we connected. I definitely will be following what you're doing and sharing it with everyone on our Facebook page. So good luck to you this year, and I hope you will stay in touch with me as well and let me know what's happening with you and in your career. And if you haven't got anything else to say, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I've had a great time.
All right, Anna, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was Anna Parkhurst. She has the cutest little accent, and if you tuned in late, I think you want to go back to the beginning of this radio show and listen from the beginning. She's a 17-year-old young woman who started racing at the age of 13. She homeschools herself pretty much because she lost her mother this summer. And she's an amazing young woman. She sounds very mature and grown up for her age. And it was just such a pleasure to talk with her tonight and interview her. I'm just so glad we got connected. So if you know a female dirt track racer or a track owner, maybe you're the parent of a dirt track racer, or you're involved in dirt track racing in some way or another. It doesn't matter. You could be the 50-50 ticket lady. You could be working the concession stand. It doesn't matter. If you're interested in dirt track racing and you feel you have something of value that people would like to hear about and hear your story and how you got started in racing, if you would contact me on Facebook at International Women's Motorsports Association, and we'll get you scheduled for one of the shows that are coming up. We're always on Tuesday night from 7 to 8 p.m., and it's the Dirt Track Racing Network, which is out of New York. I was honored to be contacted by Richard White quite some time ago, probably a couple, 3 months ago, and he was telling me at a radio show, or some radio shows, I should say, and he didn't have any women on that, and would I be interested? And I was a little bit scared because I'd never done a radio show, and I was honored that he wanted to take a chance on someone that he didn't know and had never met. And so we talked back and forth, and that's how this radio show got started. And I'm so excited to be able to share stories with all of you, just like we did tonight with Anna. What a great story. She's made some great contacts already in the racing scene, and I think we're going to hear her name more and more. If you're going to be a dirt track follower, I know I like to watch it on TV when it's on, and I love being able to watch people that I know especially. And now I feel like I know her, and I'll hopefully be able to watch her soon. So, again, we were sponsored tonight by the International Women's Motorsports Association. You can find us at iwmanation.com. That's our website. We have some magazines on there that you can check out. We have stories and pictures and all kinds of things. I think it's a pretty cool website. We change it up all the time. We're going to be having shirts and hats, sweatshirts and bags and all kinds of things added to our store very soon. We right now have the decals for your race car or your personal car if you want to get some of those. We have memberships available. They start at $49 a year. We have some for businesses and racetracks. We have all different kinds of levels for people to join us in our cause to connect and celebrate the women of motorsports all around the world. We'd love to have you be part of our cause and join us in that. And we're also sponsored then by the World Motorsports Breast Cancer Foundation. This is a great foundation. It's based in Niles, Illinois, and the foundation has ambassadors, women all over the country who have a heart for breast cancer and raising money for that. I myself am a breast cancer survivor, and I got connected to Tom Pollard, who runs that association, and he and I connected on Facebook, and we hit it off. And when he heard I was a survivor, he asked me to be an ambassador, which of course I said I would, and a portion of every membership for the IWMA Nation goes to the World Breast Cancer Foundation. And he has a board of directors that he's asked me to join and be on, and I feel honored that he has done that as well. So he has a Facebook page if you're interested in knowing more about that and supporting a great cause. I know he's looking for more ambassadors across the country if you have a heart for that and would like to volunteer. But check out on Facebook, World Motorsports Breast Cancer Foundation. And his name is Tom Pollard, and I'm sure he would love to tell you more about that. And then our final sponsor is Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards is a greeting card and gifting company that you can send cards and gifts from your phone, from your tablet, or from your computer. It's a company I've been involved with now for 10 years, and it's a company that I have to tell you changes lives. Excuse me. The local racetrack here in Kalamazoo a few years ago decided they were going to send cards to the winners. And so every week, the photographer provides pictures of the main feature winners, and those pictures get put onto a card, and it gets sent, and they receive it a few days later. It's a real card in a real envelope with a real stamp, and it's all done from either your phone or your computer. It's a great system. It's fun to do. and it really improves both business and personal relationships. So if you'd like to know more about that, I believe there's a link on the page, the Dirt Track Racing Network page. It's sendoutcards.com/IWMA Nation. So check that out. If you're interested in knowing more, please feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. I'd love to share more about it with you. And again, if you know a female dirt track racer or a track owner or someone who should be interviewed and be on the radio with us, we'd love for you to reach out and let us know about that. We appreciate you listening to us tonight, and we're going to sign off a little early. So have a great week, and we'll see you next week from Phoenix, Arizona.
All right, before you ladies leave, whereabouts are you from in New York? Anna.
I was born in Fulton, New York.
Oh, okay. I live in Perth.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Dirt Track Racing Network home base is in Perth, New York, so pretty close, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No, well, thank you very much, ladies, for coming on to Dirt Track Racing Network. We appreciate it, and have fun out there racing your late model, and have a great 2018 season, Anna.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Anna. I'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
All right, that's been a broadcast of Dirt Track Racing Network live right here on DTRacingNetwork.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Stream.me, as well as Roku. Yes, we do have a Roku channel, DTRN, and we are working on getting that to be a live channel for you to purchase right now. If you would like to get the Roku channel, you need to contact us via Facebook, and we can send you the link to add the channel to your set-top box for the time being. But we will be getting that in the store very, very soon, as Grassroots, the Heart of Dirt Track Racing, a documentary television series, is about to kick off March 30th. The very first episode, we're going to kick off with the opening of the season. For the opening of the 2018 dirt racing season, we're going to kick off with Grassroots, the Heart of Dirt Track Racing Network. We've got a lot of great shows that we were able to put together from 2017, and we are so looking forward to getting to the tracks here locally in upstate New York, Lebanon Valley Speedway, Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, as well as Albany, Saratoga will be on our list for this year to get in and talk to the drivers and the crews from each team. Also, we're sponsored by Dirt Track Racing Network of Perth, New York, Dirt Track Weekly of Orville, Ohio, and DirtFund.me, your crowd source solution for dirt racing. So log on to DirtFund.me. You can sign up for a campaign, and we've got a lot of new information coming very soon for that, so you guys can understand how to start a campaign. What DirtFundMe is, it's going to be a website dedicated to you to raise funds via micro sponsorships for your racing team. Sign up today. You create a campaign after you sign up. Share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Twitters, your Instagrams, all your stuff. Email it to all your friends, contacts, and you allow your fans that are in the stands, your friends, your family, your coworkers, your boss, anyone you know can sponsor your car and be a micro sponsor on your car through DirtFund.me. You get all of the money no matter what. So if you have a goal set for $5,000, but you only get $2,200 of that goal, you will get that $2,200 when you withdraw it, by all means. So get on to DirtFund.me today. Be sure to register and start your campaign. Once again, we're brought to you by Dirt Track Racing Network and Dirt Track Weekly. Thank you for tuning in to Dirty Girls from an IWMA podcast.